Alright boys, let's begin. Now let's go ahead and grab our Fusion composition, and now let's go into the Fusion page. Now we can start creating our scene here. Let me quickly make some space here. And first off, we need to bring a background node and connect it into the media out. And I will make some space here like this. And now we can start creating our scene. So the first thing we will need is this background and merge it on top like this, and we can name it background, and we will add a color corrector to it, and let's make it green like this, and maybe increase the saturation just a little here. And now you can go to the merge and bring down its blend like this. And now moving on, we need this money overlay green screen, so we will merge it here like this, and let's rename it quickly to money. Now press Ctrl space and grab an ultra key here, then grab this dropper to remove the green screen, so you will have this money coming up. All right, and we can add a glow to it. So let's add the glow and reduce the glow and increase the glow size, and I will also expand this menu and increase the green scale. All right. And now we can bring in our cog wheels. So here is the cog wheel, and let's bring it here and let's rename it to cog, and let's merge it here now like this. And since it's black, we need to change its color using a color corrector node, and I will make it green like this and increase the saturation and also increase the gain, maybe to 5 would be fine. And now we can bring its size down. Also, I will use a DVE node on this to bend it into the perspective. So for that, let's first scale it down a little more like this. And now you can go to the DVE node and can tweak these settings randomly like this. And now let's place it on the corner here, and you can scale it down a little more and place it in the corner somewhere here. And we can just go to the DVE node now. Let's animate the rotation of it. So what you're gonna do is go to the very first frame and keyframe the Z position, and now go to the last frame. By pressing shift and right arrow, you will go to the last frame, and you can just increase the Z a little bit. So you see it animates throughout, so it rotates throughout. Since it's rotating a little too much, I will just bring down the angle to maybe somewhere around 200, and you can go to the spline tab and take this Z rotation box and zoom to fit, then press Ctrl A and S to smooth the movement out, so you have this rotation. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I will just copy this and paste it here like this. And now you can go to this second merge and bring this one maybe here, and go to the DVE and set the values to some random number so it's a little different. Do not change the Z value though. All right, like this. Now you can paste the node tree once again, and using this merge we can place this one maybe here and go to the DVE. Now once again change the values a little bit, maybe increasing the X like so. Bring it down, and we can also scale it down. Bring it here, bring it a little up, and I think one more time, and it goes here like so. And now we can bring this one on the top corner, and let's tweak the values first. So let's increase the X maybe like this, and maybe it goes here. And now what we can do is we can add a Gaussian blur here, and let's make some space so we can blur the background, because the focus should be our text that we're gonna place in the middle. So we will have the background something like this. All right, now grab your text node and merge it in front of the Gaussian blur, and now we can type in $4 3 4, and the font we're gonna use would be Go Bold High Bold. All right, and the type would be italic. And now let's scale it up. And now let's go into the shading tab. And what you're gonna wanna do is choose the appearance of this outline stroke. All right, so it's gonna look something like this. And we can change the color to green. So right here, all right. And you can go to the shading and bring down the thickness a little bit like so. All right, and now we can animate the text so it has that flicker animation throughout. So right click here and select follower. Now go to the modifiers tab, and now let's go to the very first frame number 0, and now go to the shading tab and bring opacity down to 0 and keyframe it. Now skip 5 frames, maybe 1 2 3 4 5, and bring it to 1 all the way. Now once again skip 5 frames and bring it down back to 0, and 1 2 3 4 5, again back to 1, and then 1 2 3 4 5, again back to 0, and 1 2 3 4 5, back to 1. Now what we can do is we can go to the timing section and increase the delay to 2 and change the order to random but 1 by 1. So you will have something like this, but you can see it ends in the midway. So to loop it, you can just go to the spline tab and let's click zoom to fit, and let's just smooth them out first. So press Ctrl A, then press S, and now you can right click here and go to set loop option and select ping pong. Now it will animate throughout. Right now it's flickering too quick, so just to bring the speed down, I will increase the spacing between all of these. So for that, select all these and click this option right here in the keyframes tab, and now we can expand it like this maybe. Now let's see. All right, it's too slow now, so bring it down, bring it back a little bit. Yeah, this is fine. Also, there are some frames where the text completely vanishes. So to fix that, I will select the text node and go to the spline tab. Now click zoom to fit here. And now you can see we have a 0 point and a 1 point. So the opacity is 0 here and 1 here. So this is the graph. What I'm gonna do is we can just increase the 0 to somewhere around 0.3 or 4. So just grab all these and we need to move them up to here. So now the 2 points are 1 and 0.3 something. All right, so it wouldn't vanish all the way now, as you can see. All right, now let's close the spline tab and let's add our second text. So once again, grab a text node and merge it here like this, and this text would be in all caps companies, and the font this time would be this Morganite font, and type would be black italic. Let's place it in the middle and scale it up like so, and we might also need to add a black shadow to it like this. And I will also add a highlight effect to it, and to make that, make some space here, grab a background node, merge it here like this, change its color to red, then go to this merge and select the operator to under. Now apply a mask to this background, a rectangle mask, and tweak it so it covers the text only on the bottom half. So somewhere like this. Bring the height down, and here bring the width down as well, a little like this, like so, and I can increase the width from here, and this seems fine, right? And we will now animate the highlight text, but before that I will go to the first text here and let's add a soft glow to it like this, and decrease the gain and increase the glow size and threshold maybe a little bit. Also in the text I will go to the shading and bring down the thickness a little more like this. All right, now let's animate our the highlight effect. So go to the rectangle mask, and let's say we need it to be completed at frame number maybe 70. So at frame number 70 you can keyframe the width and the center, and now let's go maybe 40 frames behind, 1 2 3 4, or maybe even 50. So at frame number 20 you can decrease the width all the way and bring it to the start here using the X parameter. So you will have highlight effect like this, and go to the spline tab and then click on zoom to fit, then press Ctrl A, then S, then click T, press T to bring up this menu, lock both these and increase the ease in and ease out a little bit. So you will have something like this. And now we can add some movements to it, and for that grab a transform node and place it here in front of everything, and go to the very first frame and zoom in a little bit, maybe to 1.2, and you can go 1 2 3 frames ahead and bring it down to 1.1. all right, 1.1 for now. And I will bring the transform here at the end, and we'll add some few nodes here. So first one would be brightness contrast, and once again the same expression from the previous videos. Secondly, I will add a Gaussian blur, so press Ctrl space and bring in a Gaussian blur. And now let's go to frame number 0 and keyframe Gaussian blur, and let's go 30 frames ahead, 1 2 3, and bring it down, its strength down back to 0. I will also do the same with brightness contrast, so I will keyframe the gain here and bring it down to 0.5 maybe, and let's go 30 frames ahead, and let's bring it back to 1. So we will have something like this. And now what I'm gonna add is a prism blur node here, and increase the vignette size, and grab an ellipse mask and insert it into the mask input of prism blur, and make an ellipse like this and invert it here and increase the soft edge like so. All right, and I will also add another vignette and increase its size like so, so the focus is in the center. All right, and now to add that shake effect, we will use camera shake. So bring in a camera shake node. All right, and reduce the X deviation to 0, the random deviation to 0 as well, and the Y deviation to somewhere around 0.06 right here. All right, now I'm gonna animate it at as soon as this highlight effect is completed. So maybe at frame number 70 it should be maximum, the overall strength should be maximum here, and go 10 frames behind and bring it to 0, so it goes from 0 to 1 here. And then we will fade the strength out slowly. So let's go to frame number 100 maybe, and bring it all the way down to 0, or maybe 0.2, so a little shake keeps happening. 0.2 is still a lot. Let's go to 0.1. all right, so what we have done here is the camera shake goes from 0, which means from nothing to maximum, and then comes down to almost 0, just a little subtle shake. All right, and now this is important. Select camera shake and go to the spline tab. We need to make a custom graph, but before, press Ctrl A and S, so you will have something like this. Now select the first point and bring it here, and select the second point and stretch it back like so. So now you will have something like this. All right, it shakes, and when it shakes, we can change the color of the scene. But before, I will go to the settings tab in camera shake and enable motion blur and increase the quality and shutter angle all the way. But for now, I will right click here and disable the motion blur and also the high quality, so it doesn't lag. Now what I'm gonna do is I will add an invert color node like so. So the color will be like this. Now check the keyframes of camera shake. So we have from 60 to 70. All right, so similarly in invert color, I will go to the settings tab, and in blend, let's blend it here. And now let's go to frame number 70 and bring the blend down. So we will have something like this. But you see it fades in like this, so we don't want this. We want it to snap in a moment. So how we're gonna fix that is just go to the spline tab and click on zoom to fit, then press both the points and select here step out. All right, so it's gonna snap. I will just delay the keyframes a little bit. Select both the keyframes and move them ahead here, maybe a little bit back here. Now this is fine. Also, let's check our transform tab. Now here we have a keyframe at frame number 30, so we will pause the scene for, let's say 30 frames. So skip 30 frames from frame number 30 and keyframe the size. And now let's go 1 2 3 frames ahead at frame number 90, and once again zoom the transform in. So with the camera shake it also zooms in and the color also changes. All right, I will just go to the spline tab, or let's add the last few keyframes for this transform, and then we will adjust its graphs. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, we have an extra keyframe here. I will delete this one. All right, now it's fine. I will once again skip maybe 20 frames this time. So at frame number 110, and once again keyframe the size, and now I will go to the last frame and reduce it back to 1, like so. So in the transform tab, what do we have? We have initially we have zoom out animation from 1.2 to 1.1, then we pause the animation for 30 frames, and then once again we zoom in from 1.1 to 1.2, then once again we pause the animation, and then once again we zoom out the size, the transform, to 1.0. all right, now what we can do is we can go to the spline tab and then click zoom to fit. Let's make some space here so we can have a better understanding. All right, now for the first, from 0 to 30, select both these and then press S. Now select these and then press S, and now select the last two, then press S. Make sure the paused frames are flat like this. If you were to press Ctrl A and S, then they will get flat, smooth as well. This is what we don't want. But if you have done it like this, so what you can do is select both these and then press Shift F, so they will get flat. Similarly for this, Shift F. All right, now we will have the transform animation as well. All right, also you can see the scene is lightened up already. What we can do is we can just move this brightness contrast node in the end like this, so it is in front of the invert color. All right, so we have something like this so far, and the few nodes we need to add is, the first one is glow node. So we can add a soft glow and reduce the gain, increase the glow size, and increase the threshold, and increase the gain a little bit like this. And yes, you are pretty much done with it. Let's view what we have got. Alright boys, let's begin. Now let's go ahead and grab our fusion composition and let's stretch it to somewhere about 10 seconds long, and let's go into the fusion page now. Now let's start creating our scene here, and for that grab our background and let's connect it to the media out and set the alpha all the way to 0. And now we can bring in our dollar bill, the only thing we need for this animation, and let's merge it here and also rename it to dollar. And now we need to make some adjustments to this dollar bill. So first off, we need to split it using a rectangle mask. So add a rectangle mask and let's bring it here. And now I will just copy this and I will paste it here, and let's merge it here like this, and go to the second rectangle and check the invert box so you have the right side. Now the only thing I'm gonna do is I will just delete this merge and grab this here, bring it here, and I will merge it on top of the left side of the dollar bill. All right, and let's make some space here as well, and add a transform here to move it to the left side, and to move this one to the right side we can use this merge like so. All right, and now let's adjust the distance. We need a little less like this, and now we can add our dotted lines using a text node. So merge a text node here and type some dashes here, copy them and paste them multiple times. And the font we're going to use would be Georgia here, and I will increase the tracking like this. And now go to the transform tab and set the transform type to lines, and in the Z rotation, set it to 90 degrees and bring it here like this. And in the layout I will increase the Y so it starts at the bottom of the dollar bill, and I will bring it towards a little right so it is centered like this. And now I think now we can animate our dollar bill and then we can move on. So for that, first I need to add a rectangle mask to this text as well. So add a rectangle mask and make sure it is same as the size of the dollar, and I will increase the soft edge as well like this. All right, now what we can do is we can skip the initial 20 frames and now we can start animating our scene. So for that I will go to the transform of the left side of the dollar bill and keyframe it, and go to this merge, keyframe it as well, and go to the text node, and in the layout keyframe the center X as well, XY. And now we can go 30 frames ahead, 1 2 3, and let's keyframe them all. This merge, center position, this transform, center position, and now go to 20 frame by using frame number 20 by using this arrow. All right, now we can bring them to their initial positions. So this would be 0.5 and this merge would be 0.5 as well. And in the text node, what I'm gonna do is I will move it out of the frame, and let's bring it down all the way, like here, somewhere around here. It should be here, so it will animate like this. Right, the text is too fast, the dotted lines. What I'm gonna do is I will just move this keyframe, which is on 50, to maybe to the end of the composition so it animates all along. So let's view the keyframes in the keyframe tab, select this one and move it all the way to the end right here. Now let's see. Now this is more subtle. All right, and now what we can do is we can select all three of these which are keyframed. You can see this diamond icon, which means they are keyframed, and go to the spline and select all of them like this, and press zoom to fit, then press Ctrl A to select them all, then press S to smooth them out. All right, and now we can add a few more effects. I will add a DVE node to move this into move the dollar bill into perspective. So add a DVE node and at frame number 20, same as all these three, and I will keyframe the X parameter, and now let's go 30 frames ahead and increase it or maybe decrease it to somewhere around -60 or -55, maybe somewhere around here. And also in spline I will smooth these out as well, so we will have this X rotation in this kind of 3D animation, 3D rotation as well, like this. All right, and I will also add another node for a movement, so that would be waviness. Add the waviness node, and in this we can tweak some settings. So we can bring down the scale, bring down the strength, and bring down the speed. And let's see, we need to bring down the strength and scale a little more. Okay, this is fine for now. Now what we can do is we can add our text. So for that I will grab a text node and merge it here like this, and in the text let's type 20 cents, and the font we're going to use would be Cutmark here. And what I'm going to do is let's go to the shading tab and make it gradient, and select the white point and change it to red. All right, so we have a red and black gradient. Also select element 3 and add a black shadow like this. Bring it down for now so we have a visible view. And in the text tab I will right click here and select corrected level styling and go to the modifiers and go to shading, and now select this text, the cents, and select and change it to solid so it gets white. And in the text select this and scale it up. And now we can go back to our tools and decrease the line spacing like this, and let's add a X glow to it and decrease gain all the way, and let's set it to 0.1, yeah, like this. Now let's see what we have here. We need to scale 20 a little more, like here. All right, now let's set it to the left side of the dollar bill, here, and you can go to the layout and decrease the size. And I will just go to the playback and decrease the playback resolution since it's lagging a lot. So place this one here, and I will just copy this and paste it here. And now go to this text, and in the layout I will increase the x-axis so it's on the right side, and just change the 2 to 3 so it's 30 cents. And now I'm gonna animate both these texts by using a transform node. So bring in a transform node here like this, and maybe at frame number 60, maybe here I will keyframe the transform, and I will go 30 frames ahead, or maybe let's go 40 frames ahead, and once again keyframe it and go to the first keyframe by using the arrow and bring it a little up like so here, and go to the merge and keyframe the blend on frame number 60, bring it to 0, and let's go maybe 30 frames ahead instead of 40, and bring it all the way to 1 blend so it fades in and it comes down like this. All right, and in transform you can go to the spline and zoom to fit, then press Ctrl A and S to smooth out, and I will copy this transform and paste it here so it animates, the second text animates as well. I will just delay the second text animation by quite a few frames. So go to the keyframe tab and expand these and select these, and let's place the first keyframe at maybe around 80 so it comes a little later on. And I will go to frame number 80, and in this merge bring the blend down to 0 and keyframe it and on frame number 80, and now we can go 30 frames ahead and bring it all the way up. So now you will have slight delay between both the texts. All right, and now we have a fault here. The dotted lines are coming way too late. So for that I will go to this text, and on the very first frame let's bring it here, and let's just go to the merge and go to frame number 0 and decrease it back to 0, the blend to 0, and I will go 30 frames ahead now and make it visible all the way. So now we will have something like this. This is more like it. All right, yeah, this is fine. And now what we gotta do is we need to make some space here and bring in another background and merge it on top of this background, and go to this background and change the type to gradient, and one side would be red and the other side would be blue. To make it blue, just bring down the red and green channels so it gets blue, and let's set it diagonally like this. Bring it here, and in this merge node I would bring down the blend here, and also let's disable checker underlay so we can see what's happening. And now after all the nodes just before media out, I will add few post compositing nodes. The first one would be a grain node like this, and increase the power a little bit. And the second one, we can add a soft glow to it and reduce the gain down, and increase the glow size, increase the threshold, and reduce the gain a little more so it lightens up the scene. And one important node here would be vignette, and increase the size. And the important node I was talking about was stop motion, to add that low frame rate look. All right, and now we can add another movement for the dynamic look, and for that I will just grab a transform here and add it here, and I'll go to frame number 0, the very first frame, and keyframe the size and increase it to maybe 1.2, and let's go maybe to frame number 100, I guess, and let's decrease it back to 1 here, and go to the spline tab, and we can smooth this out as well like this. So we will have this subtle zoom out animation as well, text splits, and then the text comes in, the bills splits and text comes in. All right, finally I'm gonna make few adjustments. So first one would be, I want the second text to come much later on. All right, so we can go into the keyframes tab. select this transform and then go to the keyframes tab and then expand these. Now click on zoom to fit and grab both the keyframes. I will delay them by quite a lot here. And another thing I would do is that I will increase the rectangle mask of this text here. So increase the height. So yeah, something like this, somewhere around here. Also, when these two texts comes in, the first one especially on by this transform at frame number 60, I will darken the dollar bill. And how I'm gonna do that is I can add a color corrector node here. So grab a color corrector node and go to the options and tick this box first. Now back to the correction page. What we can do is we can go to frame number 60 and keyframe gain and brightness. And now we can go, let's say 40 frames ahead, and let's reduce down the gain and the brightness as well to somewhere around here like this. All right, and I think I will also go to the background and we'll change the positions of both these. So the blue is on top and the red should be on the bottom here, and we'll increase the opacity just a little bit like this. All right, now let's see. Also, we can go to this merge with the dotted text, the dotted lines, and we can delay the blend by to somewhere here. Now let's see, maybe a little more, maybe a 20. Yeah, this is fine now. Alright boys, let's begin. Now let's go ahead and grab a fusion composition and let's stretch it to about 10 seconds. And let's go into the fusion page now. And now we can set up our scene here. So first off, we would need this background node and let's connect it into the media out like so. And now let's view it here. And now we need to change the color of the background to, I will choose this one, and let's just bring this arrow down so it's a little darker. Maybe like this. And we can now add a vignette to it. And then I will add a brightness contrast node to it. And then reduce down the gain. And we'll leave this expression as it is. This is from the last few videos. I've explained it there. So we will have something like this. We can increase the vignette a little bit like so. And now we can make some space here. And now let's create our first box, and for that I would grab a background node and merge it here like so. And let's go to the background node and change its type to gradient and keep this one to black and go here, and I will change this one to this color and maybe a little darker, so bring it down like so. And now we will add a rectangle mask to it like this and make it something like this, a box, a square, and increase the corner radius like so. And let's go into the background and adjust the gradient maybe like this, and this one here like so. And also in the rectangle I will just reduce the width a little bit like this. And now let's add a soft glow to it and decrease the gain and increase the glow size like this. And now we will add our text. So grab a text node and merge it here like this, and let's type our text, which would be a question mark, and the font we're going to use for this would be Dark Adam, and we can scale it up like this and bring it here. And now you can go to the shading tab and in the appearance select the second option, so it would be something like this. All right, and now we can add our second text under the box. For that I would grab another text node, merge it here like this, and our second text would be the year 2005, and the font would be the Zenzai Itachi font, this one. and you can scale it up and you can bring it down like so. Let's scale it up a little more like this. All right, and now let's add a drop shadow to the box like this. And now you can go to this merge and bring this one here maybe to the left. And now after the drop shadow, I will add a transform node, a single transform node, and go to the very first frame, which would be frame number 0, and keyframe it. And then I will go maybe 60 frames ahead, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and once again keyframe it here. And now let's go back to our frame number 1, frame number 0, and let's bring the wire down so it's out of the screen here. So it slides up like this. All right, and in the merge maybe we can bring it a little up so it's in the center of the screen right here. All right, now in the transform you can go to the spline tab. Let's select this and then press zoom to fit, then select both these points and then press S, then press T, lock both these, ease in and ease out, and let's increase them a little bit like so. So you will have a smooth animation coming up. All right, now what you can simply do is just select this entire node tree like this, and let's paste it here. All right, and in this merge just grab it to the right side so it's in the center of the screen here, and we can just change this text to 2020. All right, and similarly once again we will paste the node tree and merge it here, and then grab this one to the right side right here, and let's go to the second text and change it to 2024, I guess. All right, now what we can do is we can select this transform and this transform. All right, let's select first this one first so you have a better understanding. So we can go to the keyframe tab, expand these, select both these, and we need to delay them. All right, so we will grab both these and move them ahead. Maybe it should start at frame number 60. And now let's press Control and select this one, the second transform. Now expand this as well. Now the first keyframe of the second transform should be at the last keyframe of first transform. So select both these and grab this here. So the last keyframe of transform 1 align with the first keyframe of transform 2. So you will have a delay between all three animations, all three slide up animations of these boxes. All right, now what we can do is we can add that arrow, and for that I would grab this arrow from the assets and merge it here like so, and let's rename it to arrow. And now you can see, since it's black, we will grab a background, or let's just copy this background, paste it here and merge it like this. And now go to the operator and select in, and now you can go to the merge and select the points, something like this. All right, and now I will also copy the soft glow and paste it here like so. And now you can add a transform and change its angle like so to -90 here. And now we can go to the merge to animate it, and let's bring it up here, scale it down. I will actually bring down all these, and how we can do that is go to this transform, and after this transform add another transform node. All right, let's make some space here, and now copy this and then go to this node tree, then press Ctrl Shift and V to paste an instance transform. All right, then once again for this press Ctrl Shift and V to paste this transform. Right, now if we bring this down so it follows through all three, right, like this. And now you can go to the merge of the arrow, and let's bring it down here, and let's scale it down a little bit like so. And now what we can do is we can go to maybe at frame number, let's go to frame number 170, and let's keyframe it here. And now let's go 30 frames ahead to frame number 200. once again, let's keyframe it, and let's go back to initial keyframe and grab it, drag it out of the screen upwards. All right, now you will have it coming down like this, and then we will make it go right side. So increase the X to somewhere around here, and then once again let's go 1 to 20 frames ahead and grab it to the left side. All right, I will just go to this merge, and in the keyframes tab I will expand these, all these, and let's move them all a little backwards, like so, maybe around here. So the arrow comes in and it goes to the right, then it goes to the left, like so. And let's now go to the spline tab and zoom to fit, then press Ctrl A, then press S, and to smooth the arrow movement out. Now the final thing we will add for the animation would be when the arrow comes to the left box, it should light up, and for that we would select our first box composition, and I will make some space here, and I will add an edge detect node like this, and you can check this edge mask overlay so you can see a difference. All right, but what we can do is just notice when the arrow comes in. So here it comes, so we can keyframe it at frame number 230. So go to your edge detect node, and in the settings bring down the blend to 0, keyframe it, and maybe 10 frames ahead or 15 frames ahead you can bring it back to 1. So when the arrow comes in, it lights up like so. All right, I think this might be a little too much. As you can see, the text is getting scattered, so we will bring it down to 0.6 maybe. All right, now let's add few final notes for the post compositing, and the first one should be your glow, but I would use a special glow, which would be this fast exponential glow. Add it, and it's quite a heavy node, and it's from Reactor. So let's bring down the gain to maybe 2, and let's increase the glow radius to around 10, 12, and I will bring down the gain a little more, maybe to 0.5 or 0.4. Yeah, this seems fine. And now we can add a film grain and go to the reseed option, go to the random seed option and reseed, press reseed. All right, and you can increase the strength a little. All right, and now for a secret sauce node, you should add a stop motion, and let's set it to 2 for that professional look. And now I will just bring down the quality, and I will also disable these 3 nodes for now so we can have a smoother playback. And now what I'm gonna do is I will just add a transform node finally at the end of the node tree, and let's go to our very first frame here, and let's keyframe it, and let's increase the size a little bit to somewhere around 1.1 something, and we can go to the middle of the composition somewhere around frame number 150, and let's bring it back to 1 like this. So now we will have this zoom out animation as well, and we can go to the spline tab here and select the transform, and now we can press Ctrl A and then S to smooth the zoom out animation out as well, like so. Now you can finally enable your nodes, and yeah, you are pretty much done. Let's take a look what we've got.